Hello everyone, and welcome back to Life Sanctuary. It is so wonderful to have you here with us again. We often hear the saying that blood is thicker than water. But today's story challenges that idea. It asks a difficult question: who is your true family? Is it the people who share your DNA, or the people who stand by you when you have nothing left in your pockets? Today, we are going to tell the story of a father who had to lose everything to find out who truly loved him. Before we begin this emotional journey of betrayal and redemption, I have a small favor to ask. If you believe that love is more important than an inheritance, please take a moment to click the subscribe button and like this video. It helps us share these important lessons with the world. Now, let us enter the grand estate of a man named Robert. The chandeliers were shaking with the bass of the music at the sprawling estate in Beverly Hills. It was Robert's 75th birthday. Robert was a self-made billionaire, a man who had built a construction empire from the ground up. He sat at the head of the table, wearing a tuxedo, watching the party unfold. The table was filled with lobster, caviar, and vintage wines costing thousands of dollars. But Robert did not feel happy. He felt lonely. His wife had passed away 5 years ago, and since then, the house had felt empty, despite being full of expensive things. Next to him sat his 2 biological children, Kevin and Ashley. Kevin was 32, wearing a gold watch that Robert had bought him. Ashley was 30, texting on her phone, ignoring the guests. "Happy birthday, Dad," Kevin said, clinking his glass. "By the way, did you speak to the lawyers about the trust fund? I am looking at a new yacht, and the down payment is due next week." Robert sighed. "Kevin, we are eating dinner. Can we not talk about money for one night?" "I am just asking," Kevin shrugged. "You can't take it with you when you go, right?" Ashley looked up from her phone. "Yeah, Dad. And speaking of going, have you updated the will? My financial advisor says we should move your assets to offshore accounts to avoid taxes when you know." Robert felt a cold pain in his chest. They did not see him as a father. They saw him as a walking ATM. They were waiting for him to die. Just then, the doorbell rang. A young man walked in, looking a bit out of place in his simple work clothes. This was Daniel. Daniel was 28. Robert had adopted him when he was just a baby, during his second marriage which had ended years ago. Unlike Kevin and Ashley, Daniel had refused to take Robert's money. He worked as a mechanic in a small garage downtown. "Happy birthday, Pop," Daniel said, a genuine smile on his face. He handed Robert a small, wrapped package. It wasn't a yacht brochure or a financial plan. It was a hand-carved wooden picture frame. Inside was a photo of Robert and Daniel fishing together 20 years ago. "I made it myself," Daniel said shyly. "I used that old oak. Would you like?" Robert ran his fingers over the wood. "It is beautiful, son." "Thank you." Kevin laughed loudly. "Wood? Seriously, Daniel? Dad has a Picasso on the wall. He doesn't need your high school art project." Ashley giggled. "At least wrap it in nice paper. You smell like motor oil." Daniel looked down, embarrassed. "I came straight from work. I wanted to see you, Dad." Robert looked at his 3 children. Two of them were dressed in silk but had hearts of stone. One was dressed in grease-stained denim but had a heart of gold. That night, after everyone left, Robert made a decision. He needed to know the truth. He needed to know if his children loved him, or if they only loved his bank account. 3 days later, the plan was in motion. Robert left his mansion. He checked into a cheap, run-down motel on the outskirts of the city. The wallpaper was peeling, and the room smelled of stale cigarettes. He took off his tuxedo and put on a worn-out flannel shirt and old jeans he had bought at a thrift store. He looked in the mirror. He looked like a man who had lost everything. He sat on the lumpy bed and pulled out his phone. His hands trembled as he dialed Kevin's number. "Hello?" Kevin answered, sounding annoyed. "Dad, make it quick, I am at a tasting menu dinner." "Kevin," Robert said, putting on a shaky, desperate voice. "Son, something terrible has happened." "What is it?" Kevin asked. I lost it all," Robert stammered. "It was a Ponzi scheme. The investment firm collapsed this morning. The government seized the house, the cars, the accounts. Everything is frozen." There was silence on the other end. "What do you mean, everything?" Kevin asked, his voice rising. "I have $0, Kevin. I am at a motel, but I can't afford another night. I have nowhere to go. Can I come stay in your guest wing for a while? Just until I get back on my feet." Kevin let out a cold, harsh laugh. "Are you serious?" Kevin said. "My house is being remodeled. There is dust everywhere. It is not suitable." "I don't mind dust," Robert pleaded. "I just need a bed." "Look, Dad," Kevin snapped. "You are the businessman. You made the mess, you fix it. You are a burden now, Dad. Don't drag us down with you." "Kevin, I am your father," Robert whispered. "You are a broke old man," Kevin said. "Do not call me again until you have money." The line went dead. Robert felt a tear roll down his cheek. He took a deep breath and called Ashley. "Ashley, sweetheart," Robert said. "I am in trouble." He explained the fake bankruptcy again. "Oh my God," Ashley shrieked. "Does this mean my credit cards are canceled?" "Yes, honey," Robert said. "I have nothing. I am on the street. Can I stay at your penthouse? Just for a few days?" "I can't believe this," Ashley yelled. "You ruined my life. How am I supposed to show my face at the club?" "Ashley, please," Robert begged. "I am hungry and cold. Go to a shelter." Ashley shouted. "That is what taxes are for. I am blocking this number. I don't want debt collectors calling me." And just like that, she hung up. Robert sat in the silence of the motel room. His heart was broken into a million pieces. He had raised them, paid for their schools, bought their cars, and given them everything. And in his moment of need, they threw him away like trash. He looked at the phone one last time. He dialed Daniel. "Hello? Pop?" Daniel answered immediately. "Is everything okay? You sound strange." "Daniel," Robert said, his voice cracking with real emotion this time. I have bad news. I lost everything. I am broke. Robert waited for the rejection. He waited for the excuse. But it never came. Where are you? Daniel asked instantly. The sound of tools dropping echoed in the background. I am at the motel on 4th Street, Robert said. Stay there, Daniel said firmly. I am closing the shop early. I will be there in 20 minutes. Pack your bag, Pop. You are coming home. Daniel, I have no money, Robert warned. I can't help you with rent. I don't care about money. Daniel shouted. You are not an ATM, you are my father. We will figure this out together. 20 minutes later, a rusted old pickup truck pulled into the motel parking lot. Daniel jumped out, still wearing his work overalls. He ran to Robert and hugged him tight. He didn't check Robert's wallet. He checked Robert's face to see if he was okay. Let's go home, Daniel said, grabbing Robert's small bag. Daniel's house was tiny. It was a small, 2-bedroom rental in a noisy neighborhood. But as soon as Robert walked in, he felt something he hadn't felt in the mansion. He felt warmth. Daniel's wife, Sarah, was in the kitchen. When she heard the news, she didn't complain. She immediately set an extra place at the small dinner table. It is not much, Robert, Sarah said kindly. But we have plenty of stew. Sit down, please. Daniel's 2 little children ran up and hugged Robert's legs. Grandpa. Grandpa is sleeping over, they cheered. That night, there was no guest room. Daniel made up a bed on the old, lumpy sofa in the living room. I am sorry it is not a king-size bed, Pop, Daniel said, tucking a blanket around his father. It is perfect, Robert said, his eyes misting over. We will find a way, Dad, Daniel whispered. I can pick up extra shifts on weekends. We won't let you starve. Robert closed his eyes. For the first time in years, he slept peacefully. He realized that he was not poor. He was the richest man in the world, because he had found love. The next morning, the sun rose over Daniel's small house. Daniel was in the kitchen making coffee when he heard a noise outside. He looked out the window and gasped. 3 sleek, black luxury sedans were parked in front of his driveway. Men in expensive suits were stepping out. Oh no, Daniel said, panic rising in his voice. Dad. Wake up. The debt collectors are here. They found us. Daniel grabbed a baseball bat from the closet. I won't let them take you, Dad. Daniel shouted, standing in front of the door. I will protect you. Robert sat up on the sofa. He stretched his arms and smiled a calm, mysterious smile. Put the bat down, son, Robert said gently. But Dad, they look serious. Daniel cried. I know, Robert said, standing up and brushing off his old flannel shirt. They are serious. They are my lawyers. Daniel looked at Robert, confused. Your lawyers? But you said you lost everything. Robert walked to the door and opened it. The lead lawyer, Mr. Henderson, bowed respectfully. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, the lawyer said. We have the documents ready. Robert turned to Daniel. "Daniel," Robert said, placing a hand on his son's shoulder. "I need to tell you something. I didn't lose my money. It was a test." Daniel dropped the baseball bat. "A test?" "I wanted to know who would stand by me when the storm came," Robert said. "Kevin and Ashley locked their doors. But you gave me your bed." Robert took the document from the lawyer. "This is my new will," Robert announced. "I, Robert Sterling, being of sound mind, hereby disinherit my biological children, Kevin and Ashley Sterling. They shall receive absolutely nothing." Robert looked at Daniel, tears filling his eyes. "And I leave my entire estate, valued at $50 million, including the company, the mansion, and the assets, to my only true son, Daniel." Daniel fell to his knees, sobbing. "Dad. I don't want the money. I just wanted you." "I know," Robert smiled. "That is exactly why you deserve it." Suddenly, a sports car screeched to a halt outside. It was Kevin and Ashley. They had heard from a friend that Robert's bankruptcy was a rumor and that lawyers were at Daniel's house. They ran up the driveway, pushing past the lawyers. "Dad! Daddy!" Ashley cried, forcing fake tears. "We were so worried about you. We were just looking for a house for you." "Yeah, Dad." Kevin panted. "I was joking on the phone. You know my sense of humor, right? We are family." Robert looked at them. His face was cold as ice. "Family?" Robert asked quietly. "Yes. We are your flesh and blood." Kevin yelled. "No," Robert said firmly. "I lost my money yesterday, but I found my true son today. And you two are not my family." Robert signaled to the security guards who had arrived with the lawyers. "Remove these strangers from my son's property," Robert commanded. "No. Dad. You can't do this." Ashley screamed as the guards dragged them away. "You are a burden now, Kevin," Robert repeated Kevin's own words. "Don't drag us down." Robert turned back to Daniel, Sarah, and the grandchildren. "Come on," Robert said, wiping his eyes. "Let's go get some breakfast. I know a place that serves lobster, but honestly, I think I prefer your stew." Daniel smiled and hugged his father. They walked toward the limousine together, leaving the greedy children behind in the dust. Thank you for listening to this story on Life Sanctuary. It is a powerful reminder that while you can inherit DNA, you have to earn the title of family. Money attracts people, but only hardship reveals their true colors. If this story touched your heart, please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, cherish the ones who stand by you in the storm.